You see that? Just there? I did that when I was about 15. I was chopping a tree down and the saw slipped. This one here, next to it, I don't actually know what happened with that one, but I know it involves a kayak one day on a river. Here on my shoulder, I've got a lump, which is from where about 15 years ago, I broke my collarbone mountain biking. Here on my stomach, which I won't show you, I've got a scar from where I had my appendix out when I was 9, I think. These days, when it's cold in the mornings or when I'm tired, I actually walk with a little bit of a limp because of an old knee injury and a fairly recent ankle injury from years of working in the mountains. Now, you're probably a little bit like me. Maybe you don't have quite so many, but there's a good chance that you've probably got on you somewhere a scar of some description. The scar is a kind of physical reminder of some past event, some past trauma, some old injury usually that we carry around with us. But we don't just have physical scars, do we? We can be scarred mentally, we can be scarred emotionally, we can be scarred spiritually by things that happen to us, by grief, by situations, maybe even just by the things that people say to us, maybe by the things that we say to ourselves. A bit like these physical scars that are on me sort of kind of define and make up who I am as a physical person now. They're kind of things about me that I carry around with me all the time. If we're not careful, the unseen scars that we carry around with us can come to define who we are. Certainly the way that they can sometimes make us act, or the way that they can make people view us, can mean that actually the world would like us sometimes to be defined by our emotional, spiritual scars that we carry. The Bible, though, takes a very different view of that. When Peter writes his letter to the churches, in the second chapter, he talks about what Jesus did at the cross, and he says that Jesus took all of our sin in his body to the cross so that we could be set free from it, that by his scars that he sustained at the cross, we are healed. The world, people around us, maybe even yourself, would kind of like us to be defined by our scars, by the things that have happened in our life, by the things that have gone before, by the situations that we find ourselves in. Jesus wants to define us by his scars, because all of the stuff, we call it sin, the things that come between us and God, the things that have not gone right in our life, the things that we carry around as burdens, Jesus took to the cross to set us free from. Now, for many of you, this won't be a new message, this won't be a new truth. And the simple fact is that just like these scars that I've got on my hand and my stomach and my shoulder and my leg on a cold morning are still there, the emotional scars, the spiritual scars that we carry around are still there. They don't necessarily go away, but they don't have to define us anymore. Because instead of focusing on the things that cause these scars, instead of focusing on maybe the result of them or the ways that we've tried to hide them, we get to focus on what Jesus says about us, what Jesus did for us, that we're valued by him, that we're loved by him, that we're set free by him from those things. That's what Jesus going to the cross was all about. The world wants to define you by your scars. Jesus wants to define you by his. I don't know what that necessarily means to you today. I don't know what the scars that you have on you or the things that you carry around that you feel that you need to be set free from might be. But I do know that Jesus wants to set you free from them. If that's something that you're hearing this morning or today and you're thinking, actually, I could do with that, then we'd love for you to get in touch with us. We'd love to pray with you about that. We'd love to talk to you about that. Because that is what Jesus going to the cross was all about. Have a fantastic week. See you soon.